giant robot XCOM. I just want to play it because of Harebrained Schemes making it. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. Also, we were so much closer on this than I thought. Wow, well done. Well done, lads. And I'll get that, we'll get that zoom up in just a second. Just remember to load Roll20 when you can.
Already in.
Kiss ass.
Yeah, I was waiting on someone to be like, "You've had to say that before, haven't you?" I'm already in.
Oh. Giggity.
Let's see. Give me Zoom. Give me Zoomerino. Copy.
Man, I just realized how utterly alone I am.
What do you mean?
In hell, no less.
Yeah, in Occipius.
Ah, yes.
Just fucking hanging out.
Feels rough, man. This should be a good link. Go ahead and try that.
I'm just waiting for the REM to play in the background.
That's me in the corner.
Oh god, I look blown out.
Show me your desk, Will. Give me a tour.
Alright, 1 second.
Wait, Annie, this is your chance. Give Red shit. He's not in call yet.
Fucking Red. Always late. Always the last to do everything.
Sorry, I was trying to put eye drops in for my allergies.
You're putting eye drops in your allergies?
Yeah, it was. I put them directly into my veins to get rid of my allergies. I'm not allergic to bees anymore, so that's a plus.
He puts them on the bees so that they don't cause allergic reactions anymore.
Jesus Christ.
The bees or something. I don't know.
That's what you do with cats. You just get rid of cats and then you're not allergic to cats anymore.
You can see behind my desk before you see in front of it. Give me just a minute. Fucking cords
I
are all
hope your
fucked up.
organization is great, because mine is horrendous.
Take it easy, Ozzy. Have a good one, man.
My cable management is currently shit because I was rushing to set this up before stream started. But I'm gonna fix that in the coming days.
I have a glass desk in the center of my room, so trying to make it organized was just a failed attempt. It just looks like there's cords everywhere.
Mine always looks like it's a fucking mess. It's never not gonna look like one for me.
Step back and angle this. That's the other part of my desk with my 2 monitors now. Look at it. Beautiful. Double monitors.
Set up.
Then I just got the computer over here for now. But yeah, it's like a 2-inch gap between the old desk and the new. But I'm kind of getting used to it.
Fred, you look like a baby monkey! Oh, man. You didn't get a haircut, homie. Oh, wow.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm basically like bald right now.
Yeah, right now he's trying to rock that Jufro.
I don't know about that.
I did that for a few years.
Right now it goes to like here.
Right,
I can almost get the emo fringe going on. That's my end goal.
It's a pretty good lineup, right? I'm not even gonna switch cams around.
Frowed.
Your hair never frowed? Lucky you.
No, my hair was always straight.
No. This is the reason why I don't grow my hair out. Otherwise, I'd probably have long hair.
I mean,
That's
if you just
how
stick
that
with
works.
it'll look better.
See, that's what I'm trying to stick through it. But until I'm done sticking with it, I look like an asshole.
You just look like somebody from 2007, and you're gonna have to accept that.
Okay, so I looked the other day. My hair was just puffed up enough in the right way. I looked like a '90s sitcom dad, because like it was like just the right amount of fluffy, and I was like, what the?
I'm not sure that's something I would be proud of.
No, I wasn't. That's why I went and took a shower so it would flatten down.
Okay, but like when you say '90s sitcom dad, do you mean like Home Improvement, or where are you going with this?
I'm thinking like Full House.
Full House. Okay, fair.
Also, I don't know where my beanie is, but I can't be asked to go find it right now.
He can't be asked.
Do I
Not
need
even a little
to
bit.
adjust my camera position to
No,
line up with your...
you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
I moved the box around to where you were sitting last time. So unless you've got some, I mean, hell, you could probably just take your monitor and pull it just a little if you're unhappy with it.
I like the idea of us changing character names, but playing the same character still.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zoom doesn't save that. But no, I think it looks fine. I think everybody looks all right. Oh boy. All right. So guys, let's did Any switch names? Any did get a new character. Any does have a new character, but we'll be doing the introduction of his character today. I'm going to go ahead and put out a tweet so you guys can follow up on that. Zoom is a VoIP. It's a lot like Skype or Discord voice or voice to video. Let's
Take
go.
Skype and make it less bad and less personal.
Trying to find info on what this game is since you're new here. Well, whew, this is a Pathfinder rewrite. It was written as a 3rd edition adventure path for D&D, and I am using the Pathfinder rules to turn it into this amalgamation that you'll see here today.
Didn't I grab a soda? Wait.
Are you asking yourself? Are you asking your cat? We don't know.
No, I'm just muttering. Don't heed me any mind.
We
I
never
have
do.
wontons, but I don't have soda.
Today
This is a
we'll
flawed
make
existence.
episode 127. Episode 127 of the longest running game I've ever ran, for certain. We've been playing for almost 3 years, I think. Right? Does that sound right?
Correct.
Yeah, and
Somewhere
we're
around that area.
just getting to the point where we can't stand each other. Okay,
I'm
let's be
yourself.
honest. It's just to the point where everyone can't stand me.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's
there's
where
a
I
bit
hear
of a flaw in your statement there.
Yeah, I don't know what you're on about. I haven't liked you guys the entire time.
Obviously.
Bub stopped liking me when Jimmy came around.
Can you blame him though?
Character.
Can you really blame him though?
Oh man, too good. So let's do a little bit of a recap. Ronald, how are you today? Welcome. Hi, chime in. Give us some flavor, some zest.
I'm doing pretty good.
Zesty.
Hello.
Zesty.
So picking up from the recap from last week, we ended up triggering a 3-scenario fight that was supposed to be cut down in 3 parts, and we ended up triggering all at the same time, unfortunately. First one being we broke the curse on Coatl, who was in the Battle of Occipitous and Celestia a couple of 1,000 years ago, correct? Yes? No?
Yes, it was in fact a while ago. Klaus seems to be flipping through his little stat title card. Oh, he is. Thank you. Good catch. Good catch. I wouldn't have noticed that because I have this quite a bit smaller. Boom. Better. All is well. Keep going.
Second one, there was a group of cultists who had the ability to drain divinity from certain creatures, from what we've seen.
I feel like that's
Bit of a stretch.
that's a bit of a stretch. You definitely encountered you've definitely encountered some cultists, but to which person or cult did they follow? Do you guys recall? Several of you made comments about it.
Norgrimber.
No.
It was. Give me a second. I have the name of it. Orcus?
Nope. Close. You're on the right track. Think of a long-standing evil deity.
Adam Marcus?
Marcus.
No.
No.
No, this was
The other-
Weejas.
Weejas, that's right.
Weejas. Several of you guys made comments about it. It's actually, in that situation, you were like, fucking Weejas, really? In Occipitus? Like, why were they even there?
I don't know, but Weejas forgot. Dang, count it.
God damn it.
Roll
There-
a D100.
They were definitely there to fuck my shit up. I'll say that much.
Yeah. So they ended up just passing by while we were doing the Trial of Resolve, which the lantern took us to the Pustule or Pimple Road area. And we ended up discovering while being in that area that when we weren't within a certain distance of the lantern, or if we stood in a spot too long, the trial would reset us back to the beginning. Therefore, we would have to continuously go through the trial until we ended up performing well enough to go through it. I think I already said the name was the Trial of Resolve for that.
Yes. Yes, it
That
was.
being the case, testing people's, I guess, mental and physical endurance to keep pace with what the trial demanded. And as a result, those who didn't make it, I'm assuming, ended up getting turned into one of these little pustule pods, I guess is what we would call them.
It was a cyst. It was a
Cyst
pod.
Sorry. And these pods were draining the divinity out of the creature, slowly essentially eating away at them, whether it be for some nourishment or other purpose, but it was draining them over time in a very, very, very slow manner to, I guess, be painful. But whatever creatures were in here could not move to a point where they could break free from it willingly. Continuing on, we had the abyssal basilisk that ended up chasing us after we ended up blowing up one of the cysts at a distance, and a divine sword had landed in one of their bags. That catching their attention ended up having them essentially beeline to us, thus starting the three-way encounter. During that fight, it was looking pretty hectic overall, and even while we were trying to help the Quetzalcoatl, it was in a sense in a state of traumatic shock of some sort, because it was having this battle before it went to sleep, and as it reawoke, it was in a sense that it was thrown into another one. So it didn't really have any belief that we were there to help him specifically, but giving enough aid to him, he didn't see us as an enemy either. That being said, when he felt the time was right, he left, leaving us to fight the cultists as well as the approaching basilisk.
Dick?
Yes. The cultists themselves were dispatched rather easily, with the assistance of Klaus and Deia and Jakob burning them down. By the time the cultists had been defeated, however, the basilisk had moved in and they started to surround us. At this point,
let's pass the buck elsewhere. Let's give it to someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of skipping over a rather important part. While we were taking those cultists out, Jakob, unfortunately, was subject to a pretty vicious assassination attempt. I mean, if you want to go ahead and talk about taking it high, hard, and in the back, yeah, he got dicked. And Ulhime, in his infinite wisdom, attempted to go ahead and pile everyone close to Jakob while these basilisks were bearing down on us. And when we didn't happen to do so, he turned to Ulhime turned to Sunn, basically said, take care of Jakob, and went ahead and transported us completely out of Celestia and back into Cauldron.
Do you note that he tried to get everyone? But,
he did try. We just
but two of us were not having any of that shit, and stopped, and then stayed against his wishes, and then continued to fight on against the basilisks. Ronald completely naked with just his fist.
Yeah. Did you say
literally-
with just his fist or with Justice Fist?
Both.
Basically, he became Iron Fist.
He had just his fist, which turned into his Justice Fist.
Yeah.
And
Keep going.
he
Keep
put-
going.
He put the slap down on some Basilisk very hard. You had, what was it, 6 arrows? More?
No, I had 3 arrows.
Yeah. So you shot a few arrows, you pulled out your sword, if I remember correctly, and then started attacking. And eventually, at some point, you're like, this shit ain't working. And you
Yes.
dip set into the field, right?
Not quite. Klaus
No?
teleported us into the field.
Right.
Well, thanks to that teleport, they actually managed to go ahead and pull up a celestial construct, I want to say it is.
Yes.
They managed to chance across a celestial construct, which is basically like battle armor. No, battle armor for paladins, apparently, because once they had actually laid hands on it and got jaunted back to the starting line, well, Deia was able to hop up and
Go figure
basically
we
go
had a
full
paladin
Ripley.
for the paladin super armor.
Yeah, it was super easy, just like that.
Yeah, there was no issues, just jumped right on it, started piling. Didn't lose a fraction of the skull, rip off the eyelid, lose the giant, lens. That was...
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Yeah, by the way, the tweet is out, and I found the best GIF I've quite literally ever seen. Rarely will you find a better GIF to attach to a tweet. There it is. Tell me that's not incredible.
Accurate. That is.
Oh, man.
That's absolutely us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bunch of goblin Buseys running around.
Oh, man.
It's scary, Busey. Thank you very much.
That was good.
Too good.
I'm not even
Okay.
imagining them like Screech just...
Yeah, I swear he is the manufacturer of Tiger Blood.
Oh boy.
Because
All right.
dragon energy, though.
It's disturbing. I like it. So, man, things went to hell in a
South.
handbasket. to
Yeah,
say the least.
after the giant mech, and he laid the smackdown on some things,
He
and
did.
then got ripped out of the mech and torn in twine and thrown across the
Yeah.
hellscape.
You got fucking wrecked, lad.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So that was Deia down for the count, the first death of the night. And then Klaus, while trying to kite basilisks by dip setting constantly,
Uh-huh.
occasionally casting spells, Ronald was still naked with just his Justice Fist, literally slamming on these fucking basilisks all night, continually. At one point, just straight up punching him in the shin and busting its shin open. And that was pretty much what they did for a good portion of time, up until Ronald could no longer bear the basilisk beatdown. It had finally belittled him into where he had fallen.
I approve of the alliteration. Very well
Thank
done.
That was actually a very good attempt.
I mean, he succeeded. I don't even think that was an attempt at this point. You did good, kid. You did real good.
Thanks, Bub.
Who's gonna pick that up from there? Basilisk beat down Klaus. Like, I want to hear from you right now more than anything. What's going on in your mind at the moment?
He's thinking
Fuck.
about steak tacos.
I bet he's not.
You just think it's like, man, I could really go for some steak tacos right now as everyone's dying.
No, I was pretty fucked up, to be honest. Like, I didn't have a whole lot left in my repertoire. My friends were dying around me, the ones that were still on this plane, that is. So I did what I do best and ran away and cast a lot of spells until I couldn't cast spells anymore. And it was a spectacle, I can say at least that much. I was being chased around by a basilisk that somehow didn't figure out the whole I got transported back to the beginning of the area when I ran into the field of pustules. They're real dumb creatures, apparently. Because they kept falling for it.
They're not exceptionally bright.
But anyway, after I ran out of spells to cast, which I used one of my final casts on turning into my elemental form. So I used that to fly, which gave me a considerable advantage over this particular basilisk, because I think this is the one that we crippled, wasn't it? That was moving slower than usual.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the final things that I had left to do, basically at all, was dig a Wand of Burning Hands, which I'm pretty sure I've had for the better part of 60 sessions or more. And like a geriatric dragon, just go on a strafing run over this basilisk and cast Burning Hands down upon it. I may have even yelled a little to make it look like it was coming out of my mouth, but in all reality, the wand did the work, and the damage that it put out was enough to finally down this basilisk. So now I'm here, all alone.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, because out of all of us, Klaus is the only one that's not bitch made.
He's the only one. Well, he's the only one who has enough plot armor to not die.
Dude, Deia got into a mech which caused a piece of her skull to be removed.
He's not wrong.
And her eye was dangling from the socket by the optic nerve. I don't think that would be bitch made. I don't know what universe you live in.
And Ronald was fighting Basilisk naked and barehanded.
To be fair,
naked. I had clothes on.
But
I lost my armor. My clothes were still there.
Okay,
No.
look,
you didn't.
warrior without
your fucking
without
clothes
armor is
were
practically-
quite literally incinerated away.
I wasn't burned alive though.
You fought the salamander. You were fighting the salamander.
Yeah, and I died on a full round attack, not a fire. I wasn't burned.
What do you think his weapon did? It didn't do tickle damage.
I like the.
He had his weapon incinerated basically anything that it touched. Your clothes would have bam, just singed up right like that.
Yeah, we just have the common decency not to go ahead and reference to your mighty hammer, Thor.
They're not talking about your penis. They're all in hell. You are all wandering through hell, and you're holding a god's gauntlet.
Somehow I knew that hell would
He has
involve
the
Ronald's
God's
penis.
Gauntlet on one hand and a firm grasp on his junk with the other.
God, I hope not. Sounds like the worst
Is it-
porn.
Is merciful damage tickle damage?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. So, despite the fight that was happening in hell, in Occipitus, what was happening on the material plane?
Griffin's son died.
Yeah, that happened. We haven't seen it happen, but that did happen.
But he died. He's dead. He's gone, so goodbye, cruel world.
Do you okay, that's... oof.
Well, I mean, we haven't gotten to that yet, so we'll find out. But
Yeah.
no, what happened on the physical plane is that Sunn and Jakob managed to land pretty close to an area that is near and dear to their hearts, the Hidden Citadel. Unfortunately, they happened to have we landed on a moat, and, well, Jakob also landed on top of an old friend, a gargantuan python that is invisible with steel skin. I think I got that right?
Yep.
Pretty much. Hit the main talking points.
Yeah, Klaus's mistake.
Klaus's mistake.
That's chat's mistake. Fuck you very much.
Yeah, well, like it or not, chat isn't playing the game, so you get
Trust me, I know. I have to remind him every week.
God damn it.
Luckily, Jakob doesn't know that this is Klaus's mistake, so he's just.
Yeah, we just know. We both I woke up and Bub was like, "Yeah, you see that you're in some kind of a ditch, or there's a plateau above you." I'm just sitting in this giant snake-made crevice along the ground, and then I just see Sniper just kind of sitting there in midair, not flying, just sitting, just.
Well, me, I'm pretty sure I was sitting my ass pretty firm in my seat. But no, Jacob, on the other hand, ended
Yeah.
up rising about 6 feet and started moving away.
We're basically hoping that Jacob doesn't have buns. Otherwise, this snake is going to be a problem for us.
It's a python.
Okay, that's better.
Okay. All right, so then let me go ahead and set the scene of sorts, if you don't mind. I'm going to pull us back to the primary map of the Cauldron region. You guys might have shifting.
I see how it is. I get left behind in Oxybitus.
Later,
That's
Klaus.
This is my life now.
Hey, well, you're going to need to roll a new character.
You aren't wrong. You guys should be on the Cauldron region map.
Correct.
And
Oh boy.
let's change some songs. You're no longer there. You're not on that.
I did not realize the Lucky Monkey was further than Red Gorge was.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. That's some distance, man.
It is. It is.
It took
And
us-
actually-
didn't it take us 3 nights to get there?
This spot right here, this little spot,
Something like that.
that is Nabthatorin's lair. Just past that
Where's
is
Citadel?
the Citadel.
Yeah.
It's not depicted on this, but they're like it's
Yeah.
in this region here. It's
Okay.
just south of Cauldron in some of the lower lying rocky regions. Okay. So this is the buck is going to be passed over here to Sunn and Jakob. Sunn and Jakob. Are you guys are you prepared?
No.
My body's not
That-
ready.
No. Waking up, looking around, seeing the giant indent, seeing Jacob rise 6 feet, and then remembering Ulhime screaming at him to make sure Jacob's safe, seeing him suddenly start floating 6 feet in the air. Sunn's going to basically pop out his wings and jump as fast as he can to get Jacob.
Okay,
and
all right.
pick him up and
Give me just a
Like,
second. Let me find
straight up, just even if I have to tackle the motherfucker.
let me find some audio for you because it's not loading that.
I can't look at Hollow Sky and not pronounce it Holoski. Issues.
Okay. All right. So, the scene was set as you had both been transported through this this spell. You were brought back to the material plane. It was, in accordance to the rolls, 165 miles away from
56.
156 miles away from a concordant location. That location was the tipped tankard. Now, some of you had asked, and I didn't really give you a clear answer, but Sniper asked, how did that even happen? How did we end up where we ended up? And the answer is, it came down to a series of rolls. It wasn't just a roll 1d100 and you get it. There were several percentage rolls, and I happened to roll into just that. So, Sniper, you're not
Yes, sir.
You're not dead. Describe your situation.
I'm not dead, but I am basically paralyzed. I was exceedingly hard stunned and was incapacitated. Let's see, I have a couple more rounds where I'm just lying there, helpless, like a babe in the wind. And I'm feeling this mass lift and heave and move beneath me.
Yeah, it feels a little strange because it doesn't exactly seem like cold earth. It feels almost like a neutral sense, but you feel like you're lying across a series of plated shields. When they begin to move, they shift. These plates begin to turn and rise, and you can feel them borderline shake and tremble beneath you as they grit against the earth below you. Sunn, I can only assume that you're going to have some kind of response that is more than just silence and jumping.
Depending on if Jared's in danger, probably not. If Jared's not seeming to be being hurt, because I already know that he's paralyzed from earlier. My big goal right now is to take him and grab him. I'd maybe say his name out loud as I jump to him to, not just blindside him, but I don't think he could really turn to face me to be like, "Hey, here, I'll take your hand."
Right, no, that's pretty accurate. So, you want to spring over to him, saying his name. Do you remove the blade from his back?
Not yet.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't want him to be hemorrhaging blood as I carry him across a forest, because that's not going to be great when a bunch of predators want us.
Sure. What are your intentions after you you manage to pull him from this? What do you do?
To at least fly high enough with him to where I could get like a decent bearing of the land.
So directly above you, you can see a little bit of break in the earth, and it's provided what looks to be some kind of tunnel. This tunnel in and of itself is large enough for you to stand in, but there is very little light shining through. Bear in mind, you are a human.
Mm-hmm.
You don't exactly have low light vision, and you definitely don't have dark vision.
No, I definitely don't. However, I do have sun rods.
Are you going to be cracking one?
So are we underground?
You are.
Okay.
Oh, I thought we were out in the open.
No.
Yeah, so did I. I thought we were on a field.
Nope.
Okay. That changes a bit of everything. Then I'd definitely crack the sun rod.
Okay. When you crack the sunrod, you see that you're standing in a dirt tunnel. It looks like it has been moved and burrowed several times over, and there is just a very small tracer of light where the earth is fractured above you, allowing moonlight to cascade in.
But it doesn't look big enough to fit through.
Not without doing some digging first. When you peer over, you're going to see that Jakob is slowly moving down this tunnel with nothing beneath him.
And how wide is this cavern that we're in?
Oh, at its widest pass, I would say that it's about 8.5 feet across by about 8.5 feet tall. And it's almost perfectly cylindrical. It's circular across.
So it's basically like just a standing tunnel.
Yes.
And how is Jakob being moved down here? Is he being like dragged almost, or?
Well, the way he's laying, it doesn't really look like he's being dragged, but you can't really tell because he's free floating.
I would probably fly to Jakob, or at this case, if I'm so underground, probably not fly. I'd probably run to Jakob.
Sure. You begin to run over to Jakob when you punt kick something. Like you feel your foot slam into some kind of large, very dense, borderline metallic object.
I would put my hands up, reminiscent of a mime. Like the...
There is nothing in front of you.
Like if I like 3D whoosh.
Still,
like there's
still nothing immediately
Okay.
in front of you. But when you look down, you can see that the earth, dirt, like free dirt that's not been compressed down, is actually moving in front of you, sort of like something is writhing through sand.
like that. I would try to ignore what I kicked if it becomes something I can step on, like if like step onto the metal platform, like I'd take the step up and continue walking to try to get to him until I am impeded further.
Sure, if you have that opportunity, then I'll make it so. But as it stands, you can see that something is sort of creating a path in the dirt at your feet, but it's not impeding your vision. Jakob is slowly starting to kilter out of your field of view. Jakob, you're getting some mobility back in your fingertips at first. Then your toes, you can kind of wiggle them. When you realize that you're being drug away, not by like your neck or by your clothing or your arm or anything like that, but like you're lying on some kind of a sled.
Right. But personally speaking, I would say that while he is going to be aware that he is moving, I think his mental fortitude right then is not going to be up to snuff, and he's just going to continue to lie there, maybe curling in a little bit tighter on himself. He is sad.
You're sad. You're sad. Okay.
Yeah, he's feeling a little hopeless. Wow. He feels like he has abandoned his friend. So until he can snap out of it, he's pretty much just laying there, getting carried along.
Okay. So what does this look like for you, Sunn? He's starting to shift further away.
Would probably pick up the pace and continuing to chase. To at least keep him within field of view.
Okay. As the tunnel starts to kind of curve around, you can see that there are a massing of tree roots that whatever this object is going over the top of, and as it's going over the top of it, it seems to be like grating against it. Think like sandpaper against wood, right? But in this case, it's super intense true grit, and it's going right over the top of it, quite literally like shaving it down as it's passing over the top of it. You think that it's some kind of large, very dense or metallic object that is now freely moving, though it is invisible to your eyesight.
And you can see right through it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can see what it's doing to the tree limbs it's going over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Not so cool with that. Not a big fan. Probably call out once again, Jakob! Try to see if he'd get a response. Probably, assuming that he wouldn't, he would continue on forward.
Okay. Jakob, you're going to overhear him yelling out your name. What do you do? Do you just continue curling up?
No. I mean, after hearing his name called a couple times, and I would imagine that Sunn is a little more furtive than just, Jakob! Time to come in!
It's, you know what it's like? It's like heavy rains opening. Jakob! Jakob! I'm just running around screaming it.
Even though he sees you.
Yeah, way to go ahead and put that impassioned response in there. But no, figuring that Sunn is starting to sound more concerned and worried and feeling more motion beneath him, he's going to kind of look around him, and seeing as he is somehow floating 12, 13 feet over the ground, he's going to start looking for a handhold, something like a root that might be closer to the cavernous ceiling that he might be able to grab onto. Would that be perception check or?
Yeah, let's give me a
It's a root
perception.
check.
Do you have low light or dark?
Dark vision.
Okay, all right, sure, that's fine.
All right, let's see, perception, because that is one of my stronger ones.
Jakob, yeah, you're certainly going to see that there is a series of roots that you can grab onto, but as you find yourself slowly trying to compel your body forward, you're struggling. Give me a fortitude save.
Certainly. It's not all that much better. 19.
It's pretty good. You manage to coerce your body amidst the feeling of this paralysis that has basically reigned over the top of you. You manage to convince your limbs to outstretch to try to grab at this. However, when you do so, you feel something lap at your palm. Something wraps around your wrist, sort of like this, like you're reaching out, and you feel something reach up and then pull back under your wrist.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all. Yeah, I'm still going to go ahead and try for the grab, though.
Okay. When you attempt to grab
a
up,
little more furtively at this point.
you feel something bump into your arm, driving your hand upward, and you can now hear the sound of metal slowly grating on metal. Steel that's coarsely being drug across itself.
So it feels... I mean, in my mind, I'm guessing that this snake has now doubled back over itself. And is kind of like moving towards me under my hand. Oh, crap.
You are every bit... When this was last seen, which your character didn't see this...
No, my character has no idea this thing exists.
When this was last seen, this creature was... its head was the size of your body. So for it to double back over at this point, and you feel something lap up around your wrist, again, you have no idea what it is that's happening, but now you feel like your arm is being, like, guided up. Like your hand is being guided up forward.
Oh!
Do you call out?
No, I don't think I'm going to call out or make a sound that could get any more attention on me. But, oh Lord, because this thing is doubling back at this point. I mean, I've at least got a good idea that something is now moving beneath me forward and backwards under my arm. I'm thinking I'm going to want to try and... Oh, God, this is sounding like such a bad idea. I want to try and mount. Get up higher and mount onto this thing as gently and as lovingly as possible.
Sure. Then give me a new fortitude save as you try to compel your body forward again. Before, it was just your arm. This time, it's the rest of your body.
20!
Very good.
That's an improvement.
It is an improvement. You manage to somehow throw your arm up over the top of it and pull yourself. When you do, you can feel your fingertips grate betwixt its scales and pull your body limply across just behind the nape of its neck, behind the back of its head. As you do so, your body starts moving. It's sort of like, have you seen when people are going up and down on escalators, where when you reach that middle point where your body just starts kind of like turning? Well, in this case, because you're holding on one end and your body's going on the other, your body just basically turns to follow that path that you're holding on to. Sunn, as you continue moving, you see Jakob is now like, it looks like he's in mid-breaststroke as his body is moving in your direction.
Just kind of floating right around.
Yeah, Jakob, do the doggy paddle. You can do it.
Yes. Just ignore the fact that he's turned white as a ghost.
Oh yeah, that's not an issue.
Oh yeah, for a red
someone,
tiefling?
Basically, yeah, no issue. I would continue walking forward to maybe reach a point where I could reach my hand out to his, seeing as well as that could work.
Sure. Sunn, when you get about, I would say, 20 or so feet into the forays of Jakob, you will see Jacob's body slowly start to shift off of the ground by about 3 or 4 feet. And then you'll notice that the body, like his body, where it was hanging out in this breaststroke motion, it starts to kind of curl up. Jakob, you can feel the metal beneath you starting to twist and the plates beginning to lay over each other when you feel another bit of this metallic piece press against your body.
Oh God, please tell me I'm not coiled up again. Yeah, again, I'm going to try and reach for some of those low-lying roots because I want off this damn thing. I really, really bad. Really bad.
What do you do, Sunn?
Oh, wait. Pub just got played. Fuck. Is there still open room in front of me to continue forward?
There is. What do you do, though?
I want to get closer. Like I can't do anything from far away. Unless I have something in front of me, I would just have to keep walking forward, even knowing that there's something invisible.
Okay. Jakob, you get this feeling, you get this perilous feeling that kind of rolls over your body. While you're managing to hold on to this, you feel the plates twisting in a waving pattern, sort of against your body.
Oh God, is it sort of like I'm here and it's starting to do this number?
It's not like its head is doing that, but like the rest of its body is kind of
Curving means that it wants to be fast. I don't like that.
Oh damn!
I'm gonna guess that you guys you've never held a snake before.
I have multiple times actually.
Given that I
used to go to reptile stores a lot.
Yeah, little known fact, I've actually got a bit of an aversion.
That's the thing that Sniper's scared of, is snakes.
It's okay, me too.
It's not that I'm scared of them, you know.
We have a lot of them down here, though.
I have an aversion.
Mm-hmm. I have a very healthy respect for snakes, which means that I keep my distance, and everything's good.
I know a lot of friends who have snakes as pets. This is a common thing.
Well, Sunn. I like how he's just rubbing his eyes.
To take my wings and just fucking dip back in the opposite direction of the hole, and just fly until I'm out. But against the Hippocratic Oath, I can't do that to Sniper.
Yes, even though Jakob is right now straddling some unknown creature that is invisible and heading back towards you.
Mm-hmm. I can only make worse decisions at this point.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with that.
Let's get this resized appropriately. I've got to be able to show the dice accurately.
Well, actually, let's go ahead and put it this way: is Jakob feeling this thing?
Match. You
bunchy?
deserve this. Less than 3.
As in, like, in preparation of a strike. I mean, am I feeling tension building underneath my?
You are. You are.
My manly thighs.
Your masculine and manly thighs that are quivering at the feeling of what's roiling beneath you. Sunn.
Oh God, are we on a giant invisible Sibian? Is that what's happened here?
Sunn, as you see this happening, as you see his body slowly kind of gliding up and forward with it, a mild shake in it, this very small tremor in it, you feel dirt from above starting to fall down, like loose bits of dirt and debris falling beneath you.
Yeah, at this point, Jakob is going to... Oh God, I feel like I should do a knowledge nature or something to see if he legit figures out that he's on a snake. But no, at this point, feeling the tension building on whatever the hell he happens to be straddling, Jakob is going to wide-eyed look at Sunn and go, "Run!"
Okay, you call out for run. Let's.
I retreat 90 feet in the opposite direction.
Yes.
Ah, boy.
Yes,
Okay.
It's like that song, just run.
As a question on that front of, would I be able to tell that this is a snake, or at the very least,
you knew this was a snake.
Yeah,
you were there for it.
You were there for it.
Sunn wasn't there.
No, he was.
I was Cicada.
No, Sunn was there.
Sunn was there
at the end of the Citadel.
You treated Jared.
Yeah, but the snake was. I thought the snake was in the forest past that point.
No, it was still rolling through the forest. Remember, Jacob, Jared was trying to poke it and was yanked back. No, you're aware that this creature is there.
I totally don't remember that at all. Like
Yeah, I'm sitting here wondering what is taking him so long.
But like you saying like you tried to poke and we pulled you, I don't remember that in the slightest.
Yeah, the spiders in the room where you were like, you spent probably 8 rounds fight. Yeah, that, yes.
Yeah, I remember that part. That was the sea shanty part. I remember that clear as day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember the snake, however, being deep within the forest, fucking off by itself.
No, that was here.
Anyways, knowing that knowing that it's
Sunn,
snake,
it hits you just like right now, like a sack of bricks. You realize what's happening.
Yeah. Through the stoner haze, Sunn all of a sudden goes, "Oh!"
Sunn puts the corncob pipe down. Oh, it's a snake! And then he's gonna turn around and casually walk away. No.
Sunn, when it hits you and dawns on you what's happening, Jacob goes, "Run."
Yeah, Sunn's gonna immediately 5 foot back. Like, straight up just like a hop, like whoosh. And then he's just gonna continue.
I need you to give me a reflex. A big reflex.
Okay.
Big mood reflex. Like, I need you to
big
get
moves,
the
bruh.
fuck out.
And you know what's good about this? We're not in hell anymore! I don't have negatives!
Sir, you might be in the worst place.
That's beside the point.
Oh, that would look so gross if that snake was there. Just a trail of blood being made everywhere.
Lieutenant landed 2! Woo!
That is actually pretty damn good.
I'm as agile as a cat.
It's pretty good. Sunn, you try to basically use your wings to give yourself a burst backwards as you reflex out of the way, and Jacob, you feel your body just roll. Have you ever had a sheet on the ground and like put a dog on the sheet or like a puppy, and then you rapidly pull the sheet out from under them and you just see their body kind of roll a little bit? This is sort of like what happens to your body. Your body just like sort of rolls end over end rapidly, really quick as you roll, and your face just like slaps steel over and over again as you roll off the back end of this. Sunn, something hits your side and you feel your body spin like a dreidel around to its side as this thing starts moving across from you. You're struck with some kind of steel battering ram, yeah, as it strikes your chest, spinning you end over end.
Hey, look on the bright side. It could have been a smooth criminal.
All right, I'm going to disconnect him from the call.
I was waiting for it. I was like staring at his cam, waiting for it to go.
Give me a new reflex, Sunn.
Sure thing, good sir.
Waiting for that D100 on that SAS chart.
I know, we're getting there. Sunn, you managed to recover, placing your body against the wall. It was so jarring in a sense that upon your recovery, you feel your wings kind of retreat back into you. But you can see, though your sunrod has hit the ground, Jacob's body is still kind of rolling off the back end of this. This creature is still moving forward. Sunn, you hear a voice from overhead that actually, not like it whispers, but there's this like almost brutish feeling that kind of rolls over the top of you. And a shadow starts blocking the moonlight from above, and you hear, "Run. Move fast. Move now."
Yeah, Sunn's gonna continue to listen to both of the people who have told him to run away from the giant iron snake. And he's going to fucking run.
Sure. As you begin running, you feel that the hall, this cave of sorts, it starts to kind of like taper down when you feel like something is grating against the right side of your leg, and you feel that it's narrowing in a sense where its body is against this. Are you going to run on top of this figure?
Have my Naruto run powers, so I believe it. I will run across this giant iron snake.
Okay. Oh boy, give me a reflex. You're moving against a terrain you're unfamiliar with.
I feel like this is him, like, trying to jump off the back of a semi-truck and run in place on the road.
All right, Sunn, you do not do so well. As you basically try to mount up, you put your foot, it catches a scale, and as you leap forward, you feel the earth beneath you kind of slip and pull away. You roll, slapping the steel of the snake as it continues to roll. Its momentum carrying you back alongside. You actually feel your legs kind of kick up underneath you.
So it's
sort
like
of
when you try to run on a treadmill.
Yeah.
And
you fucking beef it, yeah. In this case, Jakob is no more than probably 10 to 15 feet away from you, and he's still also rolling with the momentum of this creature.
Yeah, I'm tumbling end over end.
Is he going to tumble into me after some point? Is it looking like that's going to happen?
Jakob really doesn't have much of an opportunity. He still has a dagger sticking out of his back, and he's just starting to get his mobility back.
But, like, is he, like, if I look back, is it looking like he's going to slowly roll through me, like, to me?
Potentially. He's got as much mobility right now as the father from the Oblongs, if you're familiar with that.
I love the Oblongs, so yes, I am.
So as he's slowly trying to gain his senses, and you're also moving with this, give me a perception, please, both of you.
Yeah, I'm just trying.
This is going to be easier for Jakob than for Sunn.
I'm imagining the father now with Sniper's face.
Really, man? 21.
Jakob, you're going to see this. Sunn, you aren't. The light from your sun rod is currently being compressed into the earth between a rock and a hard place at the moment. As your body is rolling, Jakob, you see a shadow that it blots out the moonlight from above, and there is a single rope that lies in the crack of the earth that is giving any kind of sunlight to this particular position. And as it falls down, it probably gives about a 20-foot slack downward. You see this. Sunn eats snake ass. It's just not happening right now.
Currently enjoying a mouthful of dirt. It's very delicious this time of year.
What do you do, Jakob?
I'm going to try for the rope. I mean, I'm sorry. I've got this dagger that is dangerously close to my spine. I'm flipping end over end, trying to use my elbows not to have this thing rammed any deeper.
Sure.
I'm going to go for the rope.
Okay, then give me a fortitude save to command your body forward. Then give me a reflex if you succeed.
31?
Very good. Let's see your reflex.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, 24. Okay.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I set the DC at 20. It was going to be challenging. And as you kind of throw your hand out, you do happen to not even catch it with your hand, but your arm wraps up into it as you continue to roll, but it stops your body. You feel your legs go out from underneath you, and now the snake is just sliding as you're holding onto this rope. You hear a voice from above. Hold on.
Planning on it! And I'm going to try and see how far ahead Sunn is.
Give me a strength check, Jakob.
I'm pretty sure Klaus summoned it.
Klaus summoned it, and then Klaus made it big as fuck.
Enlarged it.
Do we still have any rerolls?
And then made it invisible.
We have one reroll right now. If we get 3 more subs, you'll get a second reroll.
Yeah,
Oh, we had a reroll? Oh, fuck, I would have used that to not eat ass.
Yeah, because I didn't use any of my rerolls last game, but I know they
Bear in mind, you guys remember about Dark Inspiration, right?
Yeah,
which I'm not even touching.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't want you to have better numbers.
Okay, that is a reroll I will take.
That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. You managed to wrap your arms up into it, and your fingers kind of like braid itself into this rope as you hold on to it. Your hand holds on to this as you feel like the rest of your body kind of ragdolls around. Sun's not even going to really see anything at all. Jakob, it's going to be up to you. Give me a reflex to catch Sunn.
All right.
Catch me, bro.
27.
That's really good. You manage to capture him in a way that you basically throw your arm around we'll say that you got your right arm up holding onto it, and you throw your left arm over the top of this person, catching him under his left side. So basically, his head is in the nook of the back of your arm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just trying to grab onto his belt,
Okay.
the thickest piece of something I can grip onto. And once I get him, I'm just gonna, turn my head up. Pull!
Sunn, he grabs you under the left arm, and his fingers are kind of like bound up in the straps of your armor. You hear him yell "pull" from above, and with an unseen strength, the rope immediately starts jarring away from you. Jacob, give me a strength to hold on to this, please.
16.
Jacob, that's good enough for you to hold on, but that is not immediately good enough to hold on to Sunn. Jacob, you might be able to with a little bit of inspiration.
I knew that was gonna come. I don't know, chat. What do you guys think? Is this worth risking giving Bub a chance to dick?
Okay, don't ask chat. They're not going to give you the right answer here.
I'm 50-50 on it. Yeah.
It's worth it.
What's the worst that can happen?
Oh, don't say that. Say anything but that.
Roll a d6, sir.
19.
Oh, the DC was actually 20. DC was 20. Sunn. Oh my God, Sunn's using it. That's. I knew it. I knew Austin was going to be the one to utilize Dark Inspiration. I feel it. Yes, it feels good. Yes.
Sorry, I don't want to be left in the hole with the giant iron snake that's going to consume my carcass.
Pussy!
Yeah, my bad.
2 Dark Inspiration have been used. That is actually going to be enough. With his assisted roll there, that's going to put you above the DC. You managed to clasp onto his armor with him in it, also wrapping your arm up into this when you were quite literally birthed from the earth. Your arm first, and then it seems like your face kind of smacks the soil before you kiss like the midnight sky, right? As it draws your body from the earth and you're still holding on to him, you see that Balthar is pulling. You see this monster of a man just pulling you from the earth with everything that he's got.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to second guess the fact that it's a bugbear doing this. It's just getting up and kind of heaving, turning on a hip, heaving Sunn's carcass out of the mound of dirt and just kind of crawling away a few feet before collapsing again, trying to catch my breath, feeling things that are sore that shouldn't be sore. And of course, I've got this giant frickin' dagger sticking out of my back.
Ulhime.
And
Ronald, for the time being, you get to play your old character. You get to be Balthar again.
All right, now roll an attack on Jacob.
You're muted, sir.
You got
Balthar is Shackled City's John Henry. He really is, though.
So yeah, as they get pulled up, and he gives that final tug, seeing them on their side, he's gonna open up his other character sheet so that way you can see what he has.
Bear in mind, you know this as well as basically any other up to this point, that snakes have particular feeding patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And upon agitation, if they're feeding, it's hard to stop them. Balthar,
Oh.
what do you do?
All right, so seeing this is just for the sake of going on. This is like all improv, right?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Okay. So knowing that the snake's gonna be a little agitated, he's actually gonna take a giant, it looks like a giant sack of just like roots and stuff, and on the front of it, there's going to be a cloth, and as you see, as he pulls them up, he's going to run to the hole immediately, and he's going to ignite it. I would suggest you cover your mouths. And then he lets it go, and then as it starts going towards the bottom and it hits, you just hear like, it almost happens immediately, like when you know how when a campfire starts kindling, like you hear those snaps?
Mhm.
That's what you start hearing, and then it starts getting louder and louder and louder, and then you start seeing this bluish fog start rising up. And you see Balthar put on a cloth on his face, and he starts pulling Jakob away. It's a sedative. It's going to keep him sedated. Start moving back. Hurry! And he starts dragging Jakob.
Sunn, you know exactly where you are. You're standing at the Leven Citadel. Around, circling the entire Citadel, this monument, this shrine in the forest that is dedicated to whom exactly? Again, Balthar? Who keeps this place?
It is going to be no. Saren, the Grand Warden.
That's right, Saren, the Grand Warden. And what exactly is your position in this place?
I am the newly founded, the new fucking High Warden of Saren.
You are in fact. And for those that are at home, what is this creature that
Warden, sorry, I'm the Grand Warden.
Grand Warden. What is this creature that they just encountered?
The giant snake, the guardian of
The Celestial Nightcrawler.
Guardian of the Leven Citadel.
That's right. You managed to draw Jakob and Sunn into the Citadel. Some of the children and a few newly found faces exit their rooms, some of them holding what looks to be candles, others seem to be kindling flame in their hand, naturally as they're a caster. They seem to be watching onward, not really sure what to make of this. Now, Balthar is a late... He's an early riser, late sleeper, and in this case, he just happened to be awake in enough time to hear Sunn shouting for Jakob. The floor is yours.
Seeing as they are removed from danger and not wanting to get any of the natural chemical to seep over to the homes, you're going to see Balthar undo Guy's limb, and he cuts the string off, and he places it on the ground, and you see the roots of the citadel to start closing over the hole, so that way there's no smoke coming through.
Correct. As he does this, the tree, the citadel itself, seems to borderline begin uprooting itself. The earth trembles beneath it, and it seems to draw its ground roots over the top of this in a way that sort of cages the beast beneath the basin of the tree.
Turning back to them, he looks and observes them.
Jakob, having been mostly holding on to him as he was being pulled away, now that he's been let loose so that Balthar can take care of the hole, he's just going to be down on a knee and one elbow, just his head ducked in extreme pain as he's just trying not to lay down. You know, he's swaying, he's weakened, he's got some severe blood loss going on. The trouser leg of his, legging of his trousers is just like soaked through with red. And he's not going to be much for conversation at the moment.
All right. Kind of taking cues off of you focusing on recovering, Balthar will look to Sunn. Last I checked upon your visit, you were heading back to Cauldron. What are you doing in the underbelly of my lands?
Sunn's just gonna be kind of looking around, kind of observing the land, just we've literally been to hell and back, friend. You're gonna see him pull out a vial out of his bandolier, and he's going to start mixing a concoction. Bub, so it would be an anesthetic.
Okay.
And he's going to walk over to Jared before fully addressing Balthar, and he's going to put it to Jacob and say, "Here, take this."
Yeah, thanks for the correction there.
Yeah, he's not even gonna really tell him what it is. He's just gonna say, "Here, take this."
Yeah, Jacob's gonna kind of glance up at him once or twice, and rolling his eyes, he's going to reach up, grabbing the vial, and tip it back, not even wanting to taste it, because he sees how often Sunn makes people swish this stuff, and, you know, he's like, oh god, this is going to be a lot of backwash. And then handing it back. There! Now can you please get the knife out?
Sunn's gonna ignore what he said for the moment and let him collapse from the anesthetic at least.
Anesthesia?
It's not anesthesia. It's the anesthetic.
It's not quite anesthesia. It is literally a local anesthetic.
Yeah.
At best, it's not going to take away the immediate pain, but it's going to dull some of it.
It's like I just gave you a Mochin 800.
Oh, okay. So
Sunn.
at that point, Jacob's going to kind of like start stretching out onto the ground, pillowing his face into his arm and just groaning into the grass.
Sunn, give me a heal check, please, as you attempt to remove this blade.
I was just about to say. Oh, baby.
Very
43?
good. Very good.
Is that...
When you attempt to start removing this, you feel that there is that it's caught. This blade seems to be drawn on something more. It's designed in a way that makes you think it's more like a fish hook.
Barbed.
So I can't just rip it out because that would cause even more damage. At that case, Sunn would turn to Balthar. Would this area be safe for the moment?
Everywhere is safe within the Citadel.
Then taking that, Sunn's gonna set up the anti-healing, the healing mirror, to kind of cleanse the area. He's going to don his surgical mask, and he's going to try to at least go in with the scalpel to try and cut the bits around the fish hook to make it so it's not the extensive just yanking it out. Trying to basically loosen up where it is entangled in.
Okay. All right. And you do manage to succeed at this. You make a few additional small incisions in a way that you don't think is going to cause lasting harm, but in a method that allows you to retrieve this blade. And it's nasty, to say the least. It's designed in a way that it's supposed to exit with ease, but at the end of the blade, it splits off in prong, and it looks like viper teeth. And it splits with a hook, so when you try to pull it back out, it actually drags flesh forward.
Then the main
I'll go ahead and just summarize Jacob's contribution. Very colorful cursing. I mean, yes, people should be blushing by the time this is done. Small children are going to be damaged from hearing the things coming out of this tiefling's mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, Sunn would focus on getting the end of the hooks.
Balthar,
Yes.
you know that when a man's in pain, he is bound to say things to sort of calm himself or right the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you are aware that there are many women and children and elderly around you. Are you just going to allow him to freely start taking all of the deities' names in vain and yelling expletives of which aren't
No, like
easily
probably like
found
after
here?
the first or second one. I mean, it wouldn't take him long to realize what he's doing, and he'll get like one of those like wooden bits or like a piece of leather, and I'm just like,
Just
gag
gonna
him.
slot it into his mouth? Okay.
Yeah.
Jacob,
Don't send everyone away. Just go ahead and gag the guy. You're ruining the show, kid. You're ruining the show.
He's gonna slot what basically looks like a shim, a leather-wrapped shim, into your mouth, and encourage you to bite down.
Oh yeah, Jacob's gonna bite down, and his tail's gonna kind of wrap around Balthar's ankle and just squeeze.
Okay, sounds good. You succeed in doing that. As he removes it from your body, though, you feel like a greater tension has been removed from your person, and you know that if it were even millimeters to the right further, that he would have done lasting, permanent damage to your person. You don't know if it's just by luck of the cards, luck of the draw, or perhaps by God's good graces that you're saved at this point, but somebody's certainly watching over you.
Yeah. And he's in hell at the moment.
To say the least, yeah. What do you intend to do with this blade, Sunn?
I'm gonna go stabbing things. No.
I'm gonna practice my stabbing.
I'm gonna sheath it back into the wound.
Oh.
Oh God! It's like a scene out of Kung Fu Hustle.
He's gonna save it for later.
Just like pulls the knife out. Oh yeah, that is. Funk.
All right.
But no, once the knife is out, though, and he feels that pressure is let off, his eyes are going to kind of roll up, and he's just going to slack out. He's going to completely pass out at this point, and Sunn can finish, packing and suturing the wound.
Sure. Sunn, you find yourself in a situation where Balthar is kind of watching you intently, and you think it's a bit odd, but very fitting at the same time, because Balthar, for the short time that you did get to know him, he was basically persecuted against, and that's sort of his story.
I'm pretty sure he watched me when I healed the village people as well, so it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility for him to just stand and watch.
Right, but at the same time, when you look down at Jakob doesn't really look like a normal person of the village or even of the forest. He quite literally looks like a demon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a bit strange. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, as Jakob passes out, Balthar returns to the group and kind of do this as like for two to head over and take him inside.
Okay. A few others will come over and help you assist Jakob forward. Jakob is pretty much unconscious. He's willingly gone to a happier sleeping place where there is far less pain. So he'll be brought over to a bed. Sunn, it will basically just be left down to you and Balthar to have discussion.
Yeah.
But once you guys finish your discussion, I'll be going back to hell.
Okay.
And-
Are you stepping away?
No.
Wait, why are you playing League?
No, I'm not. You're funny, sir. You're funny. So, Sunn, wrap up your conversation here with Balthar, and...
Sure thing. So since you asked what he would have done with the dagger, Sunn would, after they would have taken up Jakob, he's basically gonna kind of, because I'm assuming he was on his knees since Jacob was on the floor. He's just gonna kind of slump over on his back, and you said it was nighttime, correct?
Yes, it is. It is nighttime.
Sunn's basically gonna just kind of hold the dagger up to the sky, like basically blocking out the moon. Just this is why, and he's just gonna kind of chuck it off to the side, not super far, but just to his like side. Balthar,
yeah,
we have much to discuss.
Indeed, but first I need to fix something. And then he looks up and you hear him do this, like, I wouldn't say ear-piercing whistle,
Like a
but
hawk call?
it echoes like fucking loud. And out of nowhere you see just the shadow just looming over the sky start winding down. And then Yulgar lands on his shoulder. When that happens, you see Balthar click a ring on his finger, and then one glows on the ankle of Yulgar. Go speak with our friend, the Guardian. We need to make amends with him. The anesthetic should have worn off by now. And Yulgar will just look and from your perspective, all you hear is woo, woo, and then he flies off. He looks down to Sunn and he extends his hand to him. You seem to have gone through a lot of trouble, friend. We should talk inside.
That'd be nice. And he's gonna stand up before leaving. He's gonna pick up the dagger again, put it in his bag, and he's gonna walk off to inform Balthar of the situation.
Okay.
Balthar fucking just leaps, just fucking acrobatics all the way to the top.
Fucking grabs me, jumps up to the top of the fucking citadel. It's like, all right, tell me what I want to know.
Now, Balthar, remember, you were passing Yulgar off to Moishi.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's super late in the morning, so it'd be one of those things where he's always going to have his companion with him at some points.
Sure.
Like during the day, Yulgar will always be with Moishi, but it's kind of like when duty calls and he needs his partner in crime, he's gonna have Yulgar with him.
Okay.
Well, imagine that ending really bad. Like Moishi's out in the forest trying to like gather food, and he has like no other way back.
Yulgar, where did you go?
He's like, Yulgar, come here.
Oh my god.
Moishi's just like, friend.
Later that day, Moishi finds the Temple of Gubdopol.
When he's finally recovered, his body is quite literally covered in leeches.
Yeah.
And that's it. Entirely leeches.
Leeches.
Meanwhile, Jared's in Cauldron just looking, giving the Jim face into the camera.
But yeah, like as that happens, Yulgar will go off, and the ring and the bracelet that Yulgar have is actually speak with animals, so they can they essentially are ambassadors to the wildlife around them now. So that's why they have these items made for them. Outside of that, he still has Guy's limb, his stalker armor, but it's covered in like these like brownish green robes. He looks more ceremonial than anything else. It's not so much his ring, just his like ranger out. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, he'll help Sunn up, and they'll start making their way into the Citadel to discuss the situation that had transpired.
Over a nice cup of Earl Grey.
Yeah.
Anything with that. You guys
I don't
can
actually know what it tastes like. So.
can continue your discussion, your struggles, and all that jazz. Jacob, you will be brought to at least some kind of waking point, so you can discuss.
They'll be brought to the body pile.
But we're gonna go ahead and take this back. Take it back to hell. Yes, we will. So let me find.
Deia dies and actually just appears next to it. It's like, oh, well, I guess this is where I ended up. Huh.
Wouldn't that have just been the most fucking bizarre thing ever? Is if someone died in the middle of combat and then they just reappear right next to you? It's like,
dude, what the fuck? It's like, I don't. Dude,
No,
I
it
don't
would really suck if Deia ends up haunting Jacob and Sunn for the rest of the campaign. Just being so derisive and acerbic. You're such a failure. Ulhime would have lived if you had stayed behind. I know.
He's the ghost that haunts
You just got stabbed in the back. Half my face came off. I know. You don't see me running. I know.
They say Occipitous is where the greatest selfie person died, as you can see by that snazzy selfie picture.
God damn it. Klaus.
yeah.
Klaus.
Yeah.
Let's Ooh, kid. Let's talk about
Don't get spit on, Will.
let's talk about hell.
No.
How's it hanging down there?
It's fucking hot and sweaty, man. It don't smell good, let me tell you.
He's doing well. He's an investment broker now. Everything's fine.
Yes. He actually sells real estate on the side.
Didn't you know this is where all CPAs come from?
Oh, this is why I'm still waiting.
Yep.
He's a prosecutor.
This is why you had to file your extension.
God damn it. Klaus, you, I imagine that you are exhausted for a lot of reasons, that you are exhausted of your spells, physically exhausted, mentally tapped, and exhausted of allies at this point. What do you do?
Fucking same thing I always do.
Let up and deal with it.
Go to
Take the
bed.
pants off.
Try to take
Take my
the
pants off. Well, if it's gonna be hot and stinky, it's gonna be my brand of hot and
No one
stinky.
can see you waggle your finger in hell, isn't that right, Klaus?
Exactly. This is my private dancing time. Everyone else can fuck off.
I'm just imagining you dancing in all the corpse of the basilisk, and your friend is like, "Woo! I made it! I made it!"
Who's number one? I'm number one.
All right, Klaus. You stand there in a sweating puddle of what seems to be a series of bodily fluids. Some of it not even your own.
Most of it not my own.
You're surrounded by four basilisks that have deceased. You are also surrounded by the corpses of your allies and a couple of cultists at that. What's going through your mind?
Normally, now would be the time to grieve over the loss of my fallen comrades, but given the circumstances, given the amount that I've just been through, Klaus is really needing a fucking nap right about now, and it's pretty obvious that he's not going to get one around here. That being said, he's not like completely indifferent to the death of his allies.
Sure.
I would still examine the body of, or at least what's left of the body of Deia and Ulhime as well. See if there's anything salvageable, anything that could be buried potentially.
I got you. Deia, for all intents and purposes, and a variety of reasons, I'm going to say that Deia was given the stones, unless you have it. The stones of sending.
We each had one, right? It was 4 of them.
Well, there's
4 or
5
5
of you. So, who had the stones?
I don't think I had one. Oh, look.
I don't know.
Then I think it was Deia. I think it was Deia and Ulhime. You guys were splitting the stones.
Yeah, Jacob didn't take any stones. I don't have any on my sheet anyway.
Sun didn't touch any, that's for sure.
Okay, so then you guys were given, I think you were given 3 stones. You, we'll say for all intents and purposes, you collected them from Ulhime and Deia. Deia, what did you have anything on your person that you think would be fitting of what Klaus is after?
I'm gonna go through my shit, but I'll let you know.
Sounds good.
Ulhime was, for all intents and purposes, entirely naked, with an exception to a gauntlet. When you go over the belongings of Deia, you will see that she had a couple of things, but probably of her most important valuable items was likely her bow, is my guess, on top of a couple of mismatched items that still could be used, such as the gauntlets, the gloves, if you will, and maybe a potential other things. When you make your way over to Ulhime is some kind of, well, first and foremost, he's some kind of wonderful, right? Like, he was the gift that kept on giving, and you don't even know why or how it was happening. But when you move over to him, his body is this mass, this lump. And it sort of moves under its own pretenses. His body burbles. It moves and borderline shifts of its own volition. Not like, stop it. You're doing a really bad job of it. Just quit. Jesus Christ.
It's just on the ground, Night of the Roxbury.
Yeah, Jesus. You act like you're in a Busta Rhymes video. Fuck. He moves of his own volition. But not quite like you're witnessing from Ronald. Thank God.
Spirit.
What do you seem to make of it? You definitely know he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about the fact that he's deceased. However, what I have reason to suspect, like, is the ground flesh, I guess, I don't really know how else to describe it. Does it kind of undulate and move, or is it more solid rock-like?
The material underneath him is that pink fleshy earth that you had come to loathe up to this point.
Okay. I mean, given that, he probably shouldn't be moving the way that I see him moving, so I'll sort of approach warily and reach out with a single hand to kind of budge him awake. In that same sort of motion, obviously I don't think he's going to wake up, though stranger things have happened.
Sure. When you lean down to place your hand on his body, it sort of has the tension of like a balloon. It's taut, but when you begin to press down, you realize that his skin also has this odd translucency to it. You can't tell if it's a property of dying here in Occipitus, or if it's something that's happening courtesy of the gauntlet. What do you do?
I mean, I can't exactly bury his body here, or at least if I could, I don't know that I want to put the effort into digging into flesh ground. So I'm thinking probably the best way to honor him would be to take the gauntlet back and either set it up as like a display, like a relic in the church, or bury it itself in memory of him. So my first instinct, I suppose, is going to be to try to take the gauntlet off him to see exactly how it reacts.
When you move over to his body and you get just a few inches away from it, this burble resonates in a way that makes you think that there's something that's like sort of deep within him, and then he immolates. His body immediately immolates. It takes up with a holy flame. It seems to scar the earth beneath it, and you can hear this like unholy recoil from the entire plane that you're on, from Occipitus, as it sort of begins to reshift the earth, like whatever creature this actually is trying to resist it and move away from him. As his body begins to immolate, you can see it begin to char, and then there's additional movement. Do you ready for action? Are you like turning into a wind elemental and getting all huffy puffy? What are you doing here?
I mean, I would assume at this point not much time has passed, so I'd probably still be in my wind elemental form. There wouldn't have necessarily been a reason to change out of it, because
Sure.
I figure I'm probably going to have to travel a good amount of distance anyway. So I'd probably just get off the ground for this moment and try to stay above it and prepare for anything that may happen.
Okay. When you begin to take flight and move your body back and away from it, you see that the body, like as it is rapidly immolating away, it seems to leave this almost charred, it looks like a charcoal element of Ulhime there. But all that remains that doesn't quite look like it's been like pseudo carbonite-esque pose is the gauntlet. And then you see a flinch of the fingers in the gauntlet, like a reaction. And then it seems as if the fingers themselves begin to curl up into a tight fist when you can see the body begin to move. And as the body moves, bits of this charcoal-like carbonite material strips away from Ulhime. And the figure begins to stand occupying what little bits of him, sort of looking like a gnome, potentially even a halfling. But as he continues to break away this carbon-like material that is charred around his body, and he pulls open, revealing this cocoon of what he actually is, there standing wearing the gauntlet is a goblin.
The story coming?
Yes. The goblin kind of blinks several times over, continuing to break this material away from his body, and then he looks around, not seeing any of you.
My helm sword, what was that?
Holy
Klaus.
shit, it's Squidward!
Wait. What's going on? And you see Ulhime look at his hands. What's going on? Why is my skin green?
Are you a fucking Dalek?
Klaus! Klaus!
We might need a minute.
Said you needed a voice, you got a voice.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, it's fucking Squidward, man.
He's Squidward, you're Squidward, we're all Squidward. Klaus.
This goblin calls out, actually saying your name several times over. Klaus!
Oh.
You notice that it still seems to have some of the similarities of Ulhime. When you look over the body, you can see that some of the veins that are protruding from the neck are also black in the same state that Ulhime had previously from his own self-embodied curse. On top of that, the hair is also very much in the same way, where it's like black on the sides, but this almost blonde on top. But because of his racial passiveness, you can see that the top is like, it's not really there. There's not really a lot of hair. He's sort of rocking like a horseshoe, like Hulk Hogan.
Fucking Kyle Gas the Goblin.
He like you see him run up to runs up to Klaus. What's going on?
You. Who are you?
What do you mean, who am I? It's me, Ulhime! Ulhime Schilfer! Why am I talking like this? And you see him, like, look into the gauntlet to, like, see the reflection. Okay, maybe this is just... Okay, the battle's still going on over there. So maybe this is not like it seems. Maybe this is a trick of the rounds. Okay.
It's a nightmare.
Hold on.
What battle?
Ah!
What are you...
Did you just go full goat?
What? There's the battle that's still taking place over there, Klaus. How do you not see it? The glowing visages. Look at it.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. This is a lot to take in. What am I? What do you see me as?
This little goblin stands before him. He's like, "What am I? What do you see me as?" Like he's borderline Joe Pesci, right?
He's Elf with anxiety.
Yeah. Danny DeVito stands before you, and he's like, "I'm the trash man."
Just get out there and start eating garbage.
Klaus, what do you do? What do you say?
Fucking what?
You can fucking what? Very clearly, Klaus, the Elder, has no idea how to even respond.
Okay, hold on.
Can I say out of all the people to be judging someone for reincarnating as a different body,
Well, he's
Look,
like,
I'm
why
not-
have you done this? It's not morally right to steal bodies, is it now? This one changed. You hijacked yours. Way different. Seeing as he's still naked, he's gonna look around, and he's gonna go to the cultists. One of them was wearing robes, correct?
Some of them had
Okay.
on robes. Others
It
had
looks like Dobby.
I mean, for the most part, that's what he's gonna have to do. He's gonna remove the robes, or at least like the portions of it, and just kind of tie himself off so that way he's not naked.
Okay, sounds good.
So as he does that, he'll kind of like start rolling everything up and making sure it's like fashioned so it's gonna hold properly. And then like he'll fix the arms, and then he'll just have the hood kind of like dwaddling a bit. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what's going on. This might be a test of Helm, but what happened? Come on. What happened?
If you really are Ulhime, and this isn't some hallucination on my part, then you died.
I see.
Do you?
Did everyone make it at least? Oh, my head's spinning. What? Why didn't you go?
I didn't see a need to. If we'd left, we'd only have to return.
It doesn't matter. I would have been able to save everyone. You, Deia. Wait. Where is Lady Deia? Where is she?
She didn't make it.
You see Ulhime kind of drop to a knee with... Should have left. I don't know why any of you stayed.
If it makes you feel any
Stay a
better,
while and listen.
Jakob and Sunn are gone. I assume they're safe. I have no real way of knowing.
It's not a consolation. I wanted all of you to get out of here. I was trying to protect all of you. It was my right as a shield bearer.
I appreciate the sentiment, but sometimes you just have to stand and fight.
That's what I did. I wanted to stay and fight.
There was no need to sacrifice yourself alone. It's not how we do things here.
I don't even know what to do right now. I'm small, and I need to get back to Jakob. I need to make sure he's okay.
If you can figure out a way to contact the plane that we sometimes call home, then
I can get us
certainly
back.
do that.
That's not the issue. But I can't go back myself. Not without knowing what would happen to me once I do.
How do you mean?
The process of time changes here. I can't... If I go back and more than 3 days have passed, I'm gonna die.
I understand.
I can send you back, and I can wait here.
What will you do?
Survive. I'll wait the Citadel.
No offense intended, but you alone in a place like this it doesn't sit well with me.
It doesn't have to sit well with you. We need to get the others back. If we still have to go through these trials, it doesn't make sense not to have them here. I need to send you back. That's not a negotiation.
I can't discount your bravery, Ulhime. You certainly proved it time and again. I need to know you'll be safe.
I'll be safe enough. Now, give me a second. I gotta go find stuff. And you see him like run off, and he goes to grab the lantern, and you see as he like lifts it over. Even for his size, it's still like he still lifts it up relatively easily with one hand. He kind of just holds it over his shoulder.
He is at no real disadvantage. If anything else,
He's gotten stronger.
he's gained some neat features and abilities where Ulhime would assuredly stick out like a sore thumb. You know that this Ulhime, this goblin form, would, with great ease, manage to hide himself. He could basically get anywhere. He is, while at advantage and disadvantage at the same time, you're right, not going to survive very long out here. Not alone, he will. So you managed to gather your things. Or at least you gather some things. What are you picking up, Ulhime? Just the lantern?
The lantern. I'll hand the bow off to Klaus if he hasn't picked it up already. What else is there from the cultists and stuff? As of right now, all I did was siphon a robe and refashioned it to fit me.
Leave it to the goblin to go ahead and start looting.
There isn't really a whole lot else for you
Sniper, that's racist.
to actually use, right? Like everything here is sized for a medium-sized creature.
Question, Bub.
What's up?
Would the gauntlet resize?
Yeah, the gauntlet resizes to fit him.
Okay.
I mean, if nothing else seems of importance, is there any potions that the cultists might have had on them? Anything like that?
No. In fact, the cultists were basically as bone dry as can be.
Okay.
They were not really expecting this kind of opposition, but you guys rang the metaphorical dinner bell, and they decided, why not?
Oh, the basilisk. He had a sword on his back. I want to go check that.
Okay. Again, it's a medium-sized sword. You can still use it if you'd like.
It's a great sword, right?
It's a bastard sword.
Oh, I'm proficient in that, so, I mean, it'll be a little larger, but I can still use it.
Oh boy. Alright, so you know what kind of negatives come from wielding a weapon outside of your category?
-4.
And you are, as a cleric, you're proficient with bastard swords, right?
Helm's favorite weapon is the bastard sword.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, then have at thee.
So I walk up to it. Well, first I climb up the basilisk, and then as I get to the top of it, not even trying to risk any chance of this thing not coming out, I start just channeling as much of that ability of Might of the Gods into my hand, and then I go, Helm, if you're still here, grant me strength, and then try to pull it out.
You will succeed in removing this from the back of the basilisk.
Okay.
Proficiently speaking, it's not ideal for you to use this. It's not. Let's just be obvious. This weapon is taller than you are.
Mm-hmm.
By at some points, it's at least 1.5 times your height. How tall is your character, by the way?
Ulhime originally was... That's Balthar. That doesn't make sense that he'd be 7 feet tall. He probably would have dropped down to 3'1".
Okay. I think that's even tall by most goblins. But yeah, that works. Christy has seemingly created what looks like a TLDR for anyone that is new to the stream that they are not familiar with what's going on. If you aren't familiar with what's happened or you'd like a brief catch-up, she's created something that can assist you. Just feel free to say, like, I'd like to see it, or I'm new, and maybe if you say please, she'll DM you with that information. That is if
Make
you'd
sure
like
you
that.
say, I'm new, dabba-dee-dabba-die.
That's right, and then follow it with please. Yes, dabba-dee-dabba-die, just like that.
But yeah, I remove the sword, and I will hold it like it was a fucking claymore.
Yeah, and as such, it's every bit of like 5 feet long.
Mm-hmm. Which is so it's weird because I can hold it regularly, but the actual proficiency of swinging it is the issue, correct?
Yeah, it's a matter of being incredibly clumsy in this state. So you can use it because it is of your favored weapon, but I'm pretty sure it's a -4. It might be more, but I think it's just a -4.
Okay. So having that, I'll keep the I'll give the lantern. No, I have to keep the lantern. Shit. I'll walk over and give the bastard sword to Klaus. If I ever get back to my original body, I can use that. Hold on to it.
God damn it.
I believe I can do that.
Good. Well, nothing much else here but death. We should head back to the Citadel. That way I can get ready to transport you home.
A creature can't make optimum use of a weapon that isn't properly sized for it. A cumulative -2 penalty applies on all attack rolls for each size category difference between the size of its intended wielder and the size of its actual wielder. If the creature isn't proficient with the weapon, an additional -4 non-proficiency penalty also applies.
Oh, so it's a -2 then.
Correct.
I'm cool with that.
That's ridiculous. I thought maybe
that
it
was
just me.
-4.
Yeah, I thought it was as well from 3.5.
Oh, it was 3.5. That you take a -4, and then if you're not proficient, it's another -4, I believe. But
why
that's
would
fine.
people not wield oversized weapons at a -2 penalty on attack rolls alone?
Because
people don't like minuses.
So I would say it like this: I'm down to keep it at the -4 because realistically, it doesn't make sense that you're taking a -2 for something that fucking large. Because that was the case, I'd still have that flaming spear with me. So I would say we'll keep it at the
Wasn't that
-4
one?
for now.
Wasn't that one 2 size categories?
It was bigger
you?
than the room, dude.
Yeah.
It was,
that was.
It was
like,
a
that
Dark
was a
Souls
negative.
weapon. It was a fucking Dark Souls weapon.
yeah.
But I mean, Guts can wield his sword without negative penalties. So
It
Yeah,
wasn't
he's
30
also-
feet long.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's also an
Stay a
anime.
while and
You
listen.
know?
wait, are you trying to
That's
tell me this
technically
is an anime?
it's like an anime
Oh,
weapon
shit,
like
I've
that
been
size is like
visualizing
a
this
long
goblin
sword.
wrong the entire time. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Um,
and besides, Guts was an archetype,
Yeah.
and he took
Yeah,
feats.
he was a fighter.
But yeah, that being said, I will hand the bastard sword to Klaus.
Okay.
And then as like I'm making like my little pitter patter back on the way, I start looking down. I'm actually a lot lighter. Pretty
GBG
fast too.
has it right. Just no negatives. Even -2, too much.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll hand the sword over to Klaus. Come on, let's get back. And then you see Ulhime in his new goblin form just going. Start running.
Oh my god. At this point, Ronald has efficiently played every form of immediate goblin and goblinoid in Shackled City.
Yeah. Now next step is orcs, bro. Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Nope. Not gonna happen. Not gonna. I would be more than willing to work with you on something like Giant, which is great because you just have to play a giant dumb creature.
Oh my god, could he be the next oh fuck, what was his name? The
Goblin.
table flipping giant.
I already have a
Lewis?
half giant character
Lewis.
in mind. I think I already showed you that one.
Yeah, you have.
The half giant cleric. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we're segueing. We're pitter patting our way back to the Citadel. or not the Citadel, the fucking Cathedral of Feathers.
We're walking all the way out of hell back to the Leaven Citadel.
Despite how fast he may be, I can still fly for at least a little while. So until that runs out, I would likely try to pick him up and carry him along with me.
But he's so bit. Wait a minute.
Oh wait, I would actually lose a lot of weight on him too, so I thought you would say 120.
What? No.
I mean, at least
Oh
we
my
could
god,
carry
are you
him
kidding
around
me?
now.
Your
Well, it'd be
weight?
about 60 pounds.
No. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me?
That's a heavy ass fucking goblin.
He's gonna be like 25 to 40 at most.
Yeah.
No, not
Okay.
even. Like a
No.
medium dog. That's like
Bruh.
way too heavy.
25 to 40 pounds?
Yeah, hold on.
That's a tubby little goblin.
For a
No.
3 foot tall goblin? No. That's, I'm telling you.
Goblin.
He's just a sitting toddler. That's pretty much it.
Goblin.
Look, Will, all it means is that now we can pick him up for our strafing run.
Goblin.
Drop a goblin on people.
Basically, that's what you cast.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, so I would say 50
with the
because
other.
he was still pretty heavy set. Say 50.
Because your
Just 'cause
focus
he
was, you built him around Constitution, right? So he's a bit
Yeah, so I would say I'd say 50.
he's a thick gobbo.
You know what it's like? It's like when you pick up like just
Yeah.
like a medicine ball.
I was thinking more sack of potatoes, but yeah, that
Yeah.
works.
I can see a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, so he's slightly taller than the average goblin at 3'1", and he's 50 pounds. So he's fucking.
I'm just picturing Ulhime bitching and moaning the entire time once Klaus lifts him up, just like, no, let me walk. I can do it on my own. I don't need you.
But yeah, I'll start making my way back with Klaus, with Mr. Store Boss Thelsa.
Definitely. So it's true. You managed to find that he's a bit larger, but he will pick you up. He
Okay.
manages to take you. Where do you draw him to, Klaus? Do you take him back up to the oh my god, what is it? The Cathedral of Feathers?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I can go before my spell wears out, which won't be super long, but enough to at least get us a head start.
Okay. No place is safe, right? No place is safe in Occipitus, as far as you can tell. So you manage to go as far as you possibly can. Ulhime, once you land, what do you do? What's your goal?
So we made it back to the cathedral?
No.
No? Okay.
No. You got
once-
some hours of foot in it still.
Okay. So seeing as there is still some time, I don't want to keep Klaus waiting anymore. The faster he can get back, the better.
Well, you can also tell that he's exhausted. Well,
I know.
You still have vigor. He is quite exhausted. There's not really much left to him.
There's much to begin with.
I'll take a look around. And how far have we made it? At least can you like generalize it on the map?
Sure, I can try to pinpoint a place. You probably made it. Oh, I would say, pushing yourselves, you guys probably made it about here.
Okay. So we'll double back to that little red area, that little inlet.
Okay.
And from there, kind of just keeping an eye on the clouds to make sure the little amiibos aren't coming down. Also keeping eye on the horizon. I'll look at Klaus. Look, I know you don't have much fight left in you, but I need you to do me a favor and just watch my back for an hour, okay? Once I do that, I can send you home.
An hour, you say?
He gives a nod.
I've certainly fielded stranger requests.
Klaus, I've got to ask, because he says this. Do you have any curiosities as to why he's just sending you back and not himself?
Well, he kind of explained that to do with he didn't know how the time dilation would work between the planes, and if he returned, he didn't want to like immediately kill himself because of this curse that he's inherited from taking Jimothy's death away from him. Essentially.
Sure, but under these circumstances, wouldn't I feel like Klaus, being the kind of person that he is, would aptly point out, being a stubborn mess, even while he's exhausted, even particularly so while he's exhausted, would be like, yeah, but that was like old Ulhime, not new and improved Ulhime. That's clearly a fucking goblin with a god gauntlet.
Normally, I would definitely challenge that, but given the given the signs of the same sort of black blood running through his veins, as well as Klaus.
Oh, the eyes are whited over too. I completely forgot about that. They look dead. You said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, forgot about that.
So those obvious signs of illness, at least, if not straight up necrotic flesh, are enough to kind of warn him off. As well as Klaus is pretty close with Griffin's family, and he really doesn't want to see harm befall them any more than it has already. So if he thinks that keeping himself away from the situation is going to be beneficial at this point in time, then there's not a whole lot that Klaus can do to change his mind, and that's kind of already been proven with Ulhime sending Jakob and Sunn back.
Thanks, by the way.
Okay, Ulhime,
Yes.
what leads you to believe that you staying here is going to be any better than you going back?
Like I said, it's a thing of risking it. He doesn't know how the space of time works outside of here. He doesn't know if going back means only a few minutes have technically passed, and the 3 days he has left is actually a lot. Well, even right now he still has 3 days because of the time in Occipitus. So he doesn't want to go back and go, oh,
It's been a week.
4 days. Yeah, 4 days have actually transpired. You're actually a day over, and you're dead. And it's still that concept of he doesn't want to leave Jakob behind. You know?
Sure, that makes sense.
That's one point of it, but the biggest point is he doesn't know the time. Like he can't gauge that time frame from where he's at, and risking that doesn't make any sense.
You're right. I will argue that, but at the same time, or I won't argue that, but at the same time, I feel like I must bring to light that you have no idea what kind of pressures you're under here alone.
And I mean,
if you die
player-wise,
here, if you end up dying here, you could very well, which is a real possibility. Like, let's not say if.
Yeah, no,
like, it's a matter of when.
Mm-hmm.
The kid's dead anyway. Staying here alone will get you killed. It's not a matter of if, it's simply a matter of when. Now
And we
remember,
do still,
you still have Stones of Sending
right.
of a person that can take you to and from Occipitus. He said that to you.
Correct. That being the case,
Yeah, sorry to explain. I just imagined.
I actually don't have the stone though. I don't have any of my equipment. Remember, it all
Klaus
got.
has it.
Okay.
Klaus
I would have
collected this.
picked it up. Ulhime, look, I understand that we don't really understand how time works between these different planes. I do have a suggestion, though. I
Let's hear it.
believe. Fuck, I'm never gonna get over that voice. It's real good. I believe we can contact Carfon, and if nothing else, we can ask him how much time has transpired in the material plane. See how long we've actually been here, and if it's safe for you to come back at this point.
True. This couldn't work. And I guess if he does give us bad news, then we still know the result either way.
Exactly.
But I'm not really versed in the arcane like you are. And he just kind of puts his hands up. You would have to make the call.
I believe I can handle at least that much.
No problem at all. Even so, still give me about an hour of rest so I can at least defend us if something should happen.
I understand.
Well, go on. Go ahead.
What the fuck are you doing here still?
So I'll bring out a stone of sending, and I suppose I'll just use magic device on it. I'm gonna operate under the assumption that I've never used one before, but I have a general understanding of how they work, just based on my knowledge of the arcane in general.
Yeah, you basically, like most other magical devices, you have to will a small amount of energy into it. Once you do so, it operates as such. And in this case, you have the glorified solo cup, and the metaphorical string goes all the way back to the material plane, and at the other end is Corophon waiting for your words.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna try to use magic device, and
Okay.
Oh shit. All right.
That's still good.
Not as good as I thought it was, but I'm gonna go ahead and send a message. Corophon, if you can hear me, I need to know how much time has passed between the time that we left and now. Some events have transpired, and we need to make a return to the material plane, at least briefly. We don't intend on stopping the trials, but we need a break.
Okay.
I'm out.
When you say that, your stone crumbles. It will immediately crumble on your end, and it just basically turns to black powder.
We had 3 in total, right?
Yes.
Okay.
As this happens, a few moments will pass when you see that there is an ethereal rip in your surroundings, what looks like the air before you, as if someone has metaphorically reached in, split the wind before you, and tears it open, creating some kind of rift. Corophon awaits on the opposite side, and when you see him, he seems not so much smug as he does confused, like,
Do rock who this?
what do you mean you need a break?
I mean that we ended up getting separated. The details I can explain later. We separated and we lost a couple allies, but we need to return to the material plane to collect ourselves and gather as one once more.
Are you coming, or are you going to decide now? Step through, this will not last forever.
As he says that time is essentially limited, I'm gonna pick up Ulhime, and before I put him through the portal, I'm gonna say, but one moment, has 7 days passed yet, or 6 days?
7 days? No, it's narrowly been a half an hour.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll go ahead and chuck Ulhime through.
Not even walk through, just fucking football.
I'm just imagining it now. Klaus is like, "Oh, we're good." Midget toss.
When he says that, you lob Ulhime through. Ulhime, you'll land next to the tip tankard, back in Cauldron. This is an alley. It's one that you guys have become familiar with to some degree or another, and which, when you both pass through, Corophon will reseal